After about 3 weeks of this silver shadow blade, I got this little voice in my head, and it says, phone your PR guy. You get your Rolls Royce, phone your PR guy. Now I really don't know why that little voice told me that. And I phoned him up, I said, hi Gwen, I said, I've got to tell you mate, I said, I've got this burning desire, I've just got to get a Rolls Royce, I've got to have it. And he says, Ron, he says, you're not going to believe this, he says, I've got a Rolls Royce, and he says, it's up for sale, and he said, I had actually sold it to somebody, but the deal has fallen through. And he says, the amazing thing is, the guy didn't have any money, and I lined him up a finance package, 100% finance. He says, if you step right in, he says, you can take the car away anytime you like. All you've got to do is sign the finance forms, you've got yourself a roller. What do you think I did? Signed, and suddenly I'm driving along in this big yellow Rolls Royce. And that's the end of the story. But I just want to throw in a funny little twist, because it is funny. So I've got my Rolls Royce, and you can imagine having a roller for the first time, the things you get up to. I had PR people there, girlfriends, all sorts of things. I had so much fun with it, it's unreal. Because driving a car like that around, it definitely elevates you, and that's what I suppose that's why people have nice cars. But anyway, one day I went to buy this print company. I can't remember where it was, I think it was out in Slough somewhere. And I don't know why, but I couldn't get the roller down to the bottom of the road where the print company was, so I just parked it at the beginning of the road and I walked down. And I went in to see this guy, and we kind of hit it off, and I think we'd already arranged to have lunch together. And he says, look, he said, I've got a little restaurant around the corner, he says, do you mind if we walk? Right, and I'd forgotten my Rolls Royce was parked at the end of the road. So as we come out his print factory, we're walking up the road, we've come to the end of the road where my gleaming yellow Rolls Royce is with the television area on it and everything, tinted windows, brilliant yellow, spirit of ecstasy on the front. And as we came up to it, I was going to walk straight past it. Not say anything to him. But when we came up to it, he put his hands out and he stopped me. Stop. He says, Rob. He says, I've got to tell you, mate. He says, I've got to tell you. That, he says, that says it all. He says, that's my car. He says, you can't top that. He says, it's incredible. What do you think? I said, do you like it? He says, I said, we'll nick the bloody thing. And I got this big packet of keys out of my pocket. He says, we can't nick it. I said, yeah. I said, you said the restaurant. I said, we'll nick it. And I said, not nick it. I said, we'll nick it and bring it back. So I got this big bunch of keys out, and I fiddled around, and suddenly the door came open. Well, it would, wouldn't it? I've got the right thing. He's going, no. I said, stop, no. I said, we're only going to have a bit of fun. We're just going to go around the restaurant. Oh, my God. Anyway, he got in it. Can you imagine getting in? Somebody you don't know, doing a business deal with getting in a nicked Rolls Royce. And when he got in, he suddenly looked at me. He said, this is yours. I said, yeah. I said, it's fine. So I just thought I'd share that. Okay. Now, let's just talk about visualization a little bit more. Because so many self-help books talk about visualization. And I know loads of you have got dreams and aspirations you're trying to make happen. But let me tell you what I've learned about visualization. Because there's one thing writing about it in a book, and there's one thing talking about it now. The other thing is actually visualizing sufficiently in depth enough to actually impregnate the neurons in your brain at a cellular level so they actually become programs for you in your brain, right? And that is the tough bit. Right? So I know there's definitely some of you clocking this, and I've told you I've created lots of billionaires in my life, and obviously when I've done that for people, I get to know them, and I talk to them about what it is that I did for them, and they all say a similar thing, and I'll tell you what it is. Ron, what you did for me was this tiny little paradigm shift in my brain of getting me to click my brain in and do something different inside here that I wasn't doing before, right? And that's quite a crucial part of what it is that we're talking about. Actually taking yourself down into this state, which we're going to go into a minute, but visualizing in a powerful enough way to affect the neuron so it becomes a program in your brain. Okay? Let's just talk about some programs that a lot of us have got. And let me just talk about, how many of you can drive? Just about everyone. Okay? Have you ever thought about what it is that you're doing inside your body or inside your brain before you can drive? What is it that you're doing? You're actually putting a program in your biocomputer. The more lessons you have and the more you feel the point of the clutch and the more you understand road sense, what you're doing is putting a program in your brain. That's what you're doing. Once you've got that program in your brain, would you agree with me that you can get in a car and drive miles without even thinking about it? Right? Yes. Once you've got a program in there, that's it. Powerful stuff. How many of you can weld? Right? Weld. Welding. Okay, a few of you. Okay. The reason why you can weld and the other people can't is because what? You put a program in here, you've got some neurons in here that tell you how to weld. Right? What I'm trying to say to you, and this is ever so powerful and it's ever so profound, and it's this. Most people, and tonight when you get home, you want to make a list of all of the programs that you've got. I can drive, I can sew, I can say the alphabet, I can count 1 to 1,000, I can sing, I can dance. For all of the things that you do, you've got a program in your brain. I want to repeat that because it's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. For all the things that you can do, you've got a program in your brain. Somehow or the other, you've got it in there. Somebody taught you, you taught yourself, you diligently studied, but you put a program in your brain. So everything you can do, you've got a program in the brain at a cellular level in the neurons that allows you to do whatever it is that you do. You've got hundreds of programs, and out of the 6 billion biocomputers in the world, everyone's wired up differently, and every one of them's got different software. But I'm going to make this statement again. For everything that you can do, you've got a program in your biocomputer. Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty of why it's so difficult to accomplish your goals, achieve success, and stop being frustrated in your life. Because what I would respectfully suggest to you is some of the goals that you've set yourself, right, whether it's going to be a singer or a fashion designer or a millionaire, you're trying to do those goals and accomplish those things with the totally inadequate or wrong software. So if you set a goal, I want to be a millionaire, and then you look at the software that you've actually got in your brain, I can ride a bike, I can drive a car, I can count to 1,000, I can weld, I can sew. What's that got to do with accomplishing this new goal you set over here? Is that useful? Yes. It's very powerful what I'm showing you. So what I'm trying to say to you is if you've set goals, and I know just about everybody in this room has set themselves, you've set yourself goals, and we can have a show of hands if you like, but how many of you are a little bit frustrated that those goals aren't appearing quick enough or happening quick enough? Just about everybody. And I would suggest that if you are accomplishing your goals, you've already got a success formula that's working. Okay?